Good day, everyone. I am Jenny Rosie Callejas, and I am one of the team SORGHUM's group reporter, and our team includes Charisma Andrizea Subur, Rex Ryan Dahilan, and he is my partner for today's report, Ina Sari Gumba, and Miss Daisy Jane Sigarino. And we are tasked to report about the mechanisms of closing and opening of the stomata and the factors affecting it. So, as we all know, the stomata regulates gas exchange between the plant and environment and control of water loss by changing the size of the stomatal pore. And there are numbers of theories that has been proposed regarding the opening and the closing of the stomata. And these theories are as follows. First is the theories of photosynthesis in guard cell. Second is starch-sugar interconversion theory. Third is the theory of glycolate metabolism. And fourth is the active potassium transport ion concept. So let's focus on the active potassium transport ion concept. So this concept was given to us by Fujino, and it was supported and elaborated by Levitt and Rashke in 1975. And it appears to be an active mechanism which needs ATP, or known as the adenosine triphosphate. And this explains the mechanism of the active potassium transport ion concept. The opening of stomata during daytime in presence of light, closing of stomata in absence of light or in darkness or in nighttime, and lastly, the role of plant hormones in stomata movements. So the opening of the stomata during daytime considers different conditions. First is the presence of light. Second is the starch or the decrease in starch contents of guard cells, the increased concentration of malic acid in guard cells, the influx of K plus ions in guard cells, and lastly, the efflux of H plus ions from guard cells. So the influx of K plus ion is the uptake of K plus ions into the guard cells, and the outward movement of H plus ions is referred to as the efflux of H plus ions, while the malic acid is metabolized in the mitochondria, and it acts as the common reserve anion in the plant vacuole and is counter ion for K and Ca cations, especially in nitrate-dependent plants. So just like the opening of the stomata, the closing of stomata in the absence of light depends on certain conditions. First is the absence of light, decrease in concentration of malic acid in guard cells, the efflux of K plus ions from guard cells, acidic medium of cell sap in guard cells, and the loss of Cl ions from guard cells. So the Cl ion is very essential cofactor for oxygen evolution of photosystem 2 in the chloroplast, and it stabilizes water splitting system at the oxidizing site of the PS2.
Hello everyone, I am Rex Ryan Dahilan, and for today's presentation, I would like to present the different factors affecting the stomata. These are the factors affecting the stomata. So the first factor is light. So light greatly influences the opening and closing of stomata. It stimulates production of malic acid due to conversion of starch to sugar. Stomata so not open in UV light and green light but remain open in the blue and red regions of the spectrum. So why blue and red? Because red light is a photosynthetic response that occurs at high fluence rate and saturates in photosynthesis. And it is through to be the main mechanism that coordinates stomatal behavior with photosynthesis. So why blue light? Because blue light responds to saturate and low fluence rate and is often considered independent of photosynthesis and important for early morning stomatal opening. So the next factor is temperature. Stomata open with a rise in temperature and close at lower temperature, as light and temperature are directly related. Higher temperature also case of stomatal closure. So basically, stomata is nagud siya na minimum or maximum temperature sa iyang opening and close. So for the closing of stomata, mas close ang stomata if ang temperature is mulapas na siya sa 40 degrees Celsius and and the remaining and if ang temperature is 39 degree below, that's the time where the opening of the stomata is occur. The third factor is potassium chloride. Accumulation of potassium chloride causes opening and closing of stomata. Potassium regulates the opening and closing of plant stomata. Stomatates are the pores of plant leaves that allow for gas and water vapor exchange. When plants have adequate potassium, the guard cells swell and allow for complete closure of the stomata opening. However, when plants are potassium deficient, these guard cells do not function properly and moisture can escape. The number 4 factor is the organic acid. The increase of organic acid content in the guard cells cause stomata to open. So the example of that organic acid is malic acid, which is the palisade parenchyma from leaflets with which open the stomata. The fifth factor is the carbon dioxide concentration. At low concentration of CO2, the stomata open. With increase in the concentration of CO2, the stomata begin to close. And when CO2 concentration of cell is higher than its concentration in the air, the stomata completely close. The number 6 factor is water. Water is responsible for causing changes in the turgor of the guard cells. Guard cells become flaccid and losing water and stomata close. When the guard cells become fully turgid on water, the stomata will open. The last factor affecting the stomata is abscisic. Abscisic acid accumulates in the leaves when the plants experience water stress or water deficit. It has been observed that ABA stimulates closure of stomata under this condition. So, abscisic acid is a plant hormone involved in the response of plant to reduce water availability. Reduction of guard cell turgor by ABA diminish the aperture of the stomatal pore and thereby contributes to the ability of the plant to conserve water during period of the droughts. So that those are the different factors affecting the stomata.
The outcome of this LLA number 2 have provided insights on how stomata leaves behave and how many stomata are present as seen in the microscope. And there are a total of 25 clear open stomata on the leaves of a dicot plant papaya. In guide question number 5, on days with very hot weather, how could a plant survive? Explain what happens to the stomata. So there are some plants that are able to survive hot weather due to their unique structures. These structural features include the external armor of plants that protects them against water loss, as well as tools to help the plants absorb and store water. To survive in hot weather conditions, these plants need to decrease transpiration to limit their water loss. Plants have little pores or openings on the other side of their leaves called stomata. These little holes in the lower surface of a leaf through which water and gas can move in and out of a plant. And these plants will absorb water through the roots and release water as vapor into the air through these stomata.